Summers can get brutal, and while we can retreat inside to the AC, our chickens don't have that luxury. But nature has given them some tools to cope, and with a little help from us, they can get through even the hottest days comfortably. Today, we're talking about how chickens regulate their body temperature, the signs of heat stress, and what you can do from simple setup changes to frozen garden snacks to keep your flock cool, safe, and happy. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode with the Chicken Lady. Hope everybody's doing okay. We are approaching the first day of summer. We're only a few days away. So I thought, what better time to make this video and just talk about ways to keep your backyard flock cool and help them out in the summertime and try to make it as stress-free as possible for them. As many of you already know by now, we live here in central South Georgia, and the summers can be brutal here. It's very hot and humid. Chickens don't sweat. They regulate their body temperature instead by panting and by lifting their wings away from their body to catch airflow and to try to cool their body. They also have parts of their anatomy that help them cool, their combs and their wattles. And this is something to take into consideration when you're considering what breeds to have in your backyard flock. The larger the comb, the more surface area to dissipate heat. The larger combed breeds usually fare better in hotter climates than the tighter combed breeds, like your peacombs and such. Here I have both. I have Easter eggers that have the tighter combs, the pea combs, and then I have some with the larger combs. I have both in my flock. The thing that helps me out the most is that my whole chicken pen here, the whole area that they stay is completely shaded. They have a lot of tree coverage and it stays nice and cool. And it's not enclosed, so it's completely breathable. Even their enclosures that they use for to get out of the weather and to roost at night, gates on them remain opened all the time. And again, they're very breathable, no enclosed structures whatsoever. That's what saves me and my flock during our hot Georgia summers. In nature, chickens' behavior to cool themselves, you'll see them go to fresh dirt and scratch around till they get to that cool dirt, kind of like dogs dig holes in the summertime to get to that cool dirt that's underneath the surface, and they lay there to cool their body temp. Chickens basically do the same thing. So it's important, if you're in an extremely hot climate, that you have fresh ground for them during the hottest part of the day so that they can scratch and get to that cooler ground. Not only that, they will dust bathe more than normal during extremely hot temperatures. This also helps cool their body temp. You'll also notice that chickens in extreme temperatures, they will kind of be more dormant during the middle of the day, the hottest part of the day. This, again, is their way of keeping cool, not exerting themselves, trying to keep their body temp down. Let's talk basics for just a second. Sometimes the obvious things can get overlooked, but shade is an absolute must in the summertime, and especially in the hotter climates with extreme temperatures. They have to have shelter from the sun, whether that is an enclosure or a movable tractor that you may have that has a tarp or a shade cloth over it. Even if they're free range, make sure that they can take cover and seek shade during the hottest part of the day. But you can use anything. You can use, like I say, just old tarps or canvases, paint canvases that you use for drop cloths. You can use shade cloth, anything that will provide them shelter or shade from the sun. Another thing to think about long term is you can plant shrubs or trees around their run or in their run. Just make sure that they're not toxic to the chicken. But this is also a good thing long term if you don't have where they're in the shade already. You can build them a structure meanwhile until your shrubs or your trees get to where they can provide that natural shade. Like I say, in the extreme cases, you can offer them a fan. A solar powered fan is a great option, or battery powered. If it's inconvenient to run power to your coop, and if you do have a power fan, just be very cautious of the cords and make sure there's no hazard there. The main thing is, if you do have them in some type of enclosure or you have a coop, it's a solid enclosure, think about ways that you could go in and offer them some kind of ventilation where, even if it's like cutting a section and replacing it with hardware cloth so they're still safe from predators, but it offers that complete airflow and ventilation. That is crucial in the heat of the summer. They have to have that airflow. Another one that's obvious is water. Be sure that you offer them fresh, cool water daily, and if you're able to do it, twice a day would be great, where you could dump out the hot and replace with cool, fresh water. This is an absolute must. They have to have means of fresh, cool water at all times during the summer and during the heat of the day. Ways that you can help with this is freeze water bottles. Just when you get through with water bottles, save them, fill them up with water, stick them in your freezer, and when you come out to your coop or your run, drop those water bottles down into your watering system. If you have a type of system that allows you to do that, keep your watering system in the shade. This will help keep the temperatures of the water cooler. If you're not careful, they'll get dehydrated if they only have hot water to drink, because they won't drink that hot water near as much as they will if it's cooler, because drinking that hot water is just raising their internal body temperature. And they can become dehydrated on you. So just be sure that they have means of cool, fresh water. You can also, if they're on natural ground or grass, you can always just spray it down so that it wets it, which will cool the ground. They also regulate their body temp through their feet and their legs, and so just walking on that cool ground will offer them some relief. You also want to be very mindful of where your hens are nesting, whether it's nest boxes or whatever you have them set up for their nesting, where they go to lay their eggs. Make sure, especially in the summertime, that this is well ventilated, and again, that they can get some type of airflow or air circulation while they're laying. As you all know, it takes a hen a few minutes to lay that egg. It's not an instant, she goes into the nest box and pops the egg out and she's done. It's a time-consuming thing, and she's in that nest box for a considerable amount of time. So you want to make sure that if you have the nest boxes that are the joined nest boxes with the little cubbies, that you have a fan or some source of airflow, because this is the perfect scenario for them to overheat when they're in that little boxed in enclosed area for an extended period at a time and with no airflow. So if you have that kind of setup, just go ahead and situate you a fan or something that is pointing on that structure so that they have that continuous airflow and they don't overheat while they're laying an egg. As you all know, we have a huge garden and we do a lot of gardening, and this is one thing that I do during the summertime with our summer garden. Any of our vegetables that we pick that are oversized, or they have a soft spot, or they've rotted, or we've gotten to them too late, any culls from our garden, I will take those inside and I'll slice them up and put them in the freezer, and I let them freeze, and then I throw them to the chickens during the summertime. This is just an added way to keep them cool and to bring that internal body temperature down. You can also freeze peas, You can make them little fill up the ice cube trays and sprinkle peas or some herbs or water. They love watermelon, frozen watermelon, cantaloupe, cucumbers, any of that is already naturally has a lot of water in it, like watermelon and cucumbers. That is a great option to give them to keep them hydrated. Also, your normal kitchen scraps that you normally feed to them, just stick them in the freezer for 2 or 3 hours before you give it to them, and then chuck them out here. And again, anything that you can feed them that you can cool first or freeze, that'll just help with their internal body temp. While we're on the treats, try to steer clear of corn during extremely hot temperatures. Corn causes them to heat up. It raises their internal body heat. It's good in the winter to feed corn, especially to help them to stay warm. You don't want to feed corn in the summertime, so be mindful of that. But summertime is not anything to fear or to dread with your chickens. Just be mindful of their needs during the summertime. Don't have them out in the direct sun. Give them some type of shade. Got to give them fresh, cool water. Can do little extra things like giving them the frozen treats or the frozen kitchen scraps or garden scraps, and just spraying down their run. Just little things, a fan on the nest boxes if it's an enclosed nesting area. As long as you're mindful and you're paying attention to your flock, it's nothing to fear, and it's very manageable.
Thinking about raising backyard chickens but not sure where to start? You're not alone, and you don't have to figure it all out by trial and error. The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Backyard Chickens is your complete start-to-finish roadmap to a happy, healthy flock. Whether you're starting with baby chicks or diving into coop life for the first time, we've got you covered. Inside, you'll get expert tips, printable worksheets, flock planning tools, health logs, chore calendars, and everything you need to raise confident chickens and confident chicken keepers. Perfect for families, first-timers, and homesteaders who want to do it right from day one. Grab your copy now in our stand store and start your chicken journey with clarity, confidence, and a whole lot of fun. Link is in the description.
But I guess that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you guys have learned something. If so, consider hitting that like button for us. And if you want to catch more videos about chickens, be sure and hit that subscribe. We usually have a new episode from the Chicken Lady weekly, so be sure and hit that subscribe button. Thanks, guys.
Be sure and check out our full Chicken Lady playlist right here.